All right, this is a quick optional video to walk you through the week at a glance if you were absent on our first live session. So our targets this week, we're going to be reviewing, refreshing, and relearning all of Chapter 1 learning targets to have it fresh in our mind for our test on Wednesday. Number 2, understand that there's interconnections between biotic and abiotic factors using monolake. Our next case study is in Chapter 2 is about monolake. And then 3, explain why biodiversity is important and how we're going to use it as an indicator of health of the ecosystem. So those are our 3 learning targets. Our tasks and our assessments, you're going to have your first Chapter 1 assessment. It's multiple choice. There's also going to be another FRQ this week. Another task that you'll do is annotating an article. We'll do an activity called marking it up, and defending, both in writing and orally, its scientific validity. So is this sound science? And refreshing on the Ed puzzle about SIFT. That first step, really critical to stop if the source is not valid to begin with. And number 3, free response question that we're doing is from 2013. We're doing question number 4. So this will be hyperlinked for you. And how do you know if you've been successful? You'll score an 80% or better on your Chapter 1 test. You'll score a 5 or better on your FRQ, and you'll have started to form your background section and your overall knowledge of biodiversity. So when we're ready to ask questions next week of the biodiversity of your backyard or front yard or nearby park, you'll be able to write a question and a prediction. So that's kind of the targets, assessments, and success criteria. Day 1, we are going to review Chapter 1. So we're going to go through particular slides from that PowerPoint. It is hyperlinked on here for you. We're going to do breakout groups in regards to fact or fiction. So you're going to get together with your group that's doing the same claim as you and talk about whether the articles that you are bringing to the group are scientifically valid. And then we'll talk about, if they are valid, and you don't have to go back to step 1 and find a new one, how to mark them up, how to annotate them, and show me that you've processed and reflected on them. I am going to go over correct answers to practice exam Chapter 1, the one that is not digital, that in terms of you have to write your answers 1 through 11 on a separate sheet of paper. I cannot post that legally, so if you want to know those answers or you're unsure if you have them right, I'm going to do that at 12:30. Then on demand, you're watching Ed Puzzle on the case study, which is also the first page of Chapter 2 reading. We're going to work on your Jamboard, so continue working on those fact or fiction evidence and reasoning for your team. And then there's a Mythbusters quiz that compares independent versus dependent variables. So those are kind of the 3 activities for your on-demand days. Wednesday, we're taking a test. You have 3 attempts provided, and just in case you have connection problems, do keep in mind it has a time limit of 60 minutes. It is open notes. And then this is a link for you to be able to correct your FRQ, which is 2013 question number 4. These are also on Google Classroom. So day 2, your live class, we're going to talk about how do you recover points if you did not get all the points that you wanted for Chapter 1. All homework has to first be turned in, and you need to have earned 500 points on your learning curve. Then you use office hours to do Kahoots on the missed concepts. So I'll be doing Kahoots and whiteboards, quizzes, things like that, where you can demonstrate your knowledge and recover the points you lost on your tests. I'm going to talk about your digital notebooks and kind of what the purpose is. There seems some of you are confused about that, so I want to talk about the numbers on that and the concepts on that and how that relates to what you're doing with your textbook. And number 3, we're going to move on to Chapter 2. So we're going to talk about our learning targets for this new chapter and building some basic knowledge about biodiversity for our lab. On demand, watch 2 Ed puzzles, do your FRQ on biodiversity, and then we're going to do claims, evidence, and reasoning. This actually was, I'm going to replace with some time to work on your Jamboards. Since it has a glitch to it right now. So number 3, we're actually going to have some Jamboard work time dedicated for you and your team to put evidence and reasoning for supporting or refuting your claim. That's it for the week. Again, my Zoom link is live for you during office hours. If you need to ask additional questions or clarify an assignment, please come in during those on-demand times.